The Jets certainly would be one of the teams that could potentially use his services eventually. Be interesting.
The other sexy pick that could be available to them at number 6 is Darren McFadden.
Yep.
What's your impressions of him as a pro?
Well, you know, and again, I don't know if either guy's going to be there at that time. Darren McFadden might go prior to 6. And we know all about his explosiveness, his home run ability. He can be very productive. We know there are a few issues that I'm sure every team up there that is considering him have discussed with him. His fights and some of those off the field issues that hopefully won't happen again. The league doesn't stand for it anymore. The league is never did. But I think now Roger Goodell has even taken a harder stance on any issues off the field that are a detriment to the league's image, and so I think every team's addressed that, and I think Darren McFadden has set his mind to do the right thing, fall in line, be a good pro, and I think he's going to have to do that because somebody's going to spend a lot of money on him, and they're going to count on him.
Now, if you were in the Jets draft room, you were discussing Darren McFadden, what would you say when you talk about the character issues weighed against the talent? How would you approach that if you were the coach of the Jets?
Well, Eric Mangini is going to listen to the scouts and to his position coaches and front office people and try to gain all of that information. And then you weigh the pros and the cons and you consider the cost. You know, to spend $30 million on a guy that has some baggage versus spending $10 million, it's a different discussion. It's more risky early. But I'm sure they've done their due diligence to find out what kind of guy this is, what's the chance of any of this repeating itself, how committed is he going to be, and that's the part where you just never know. It's a gut feeling, it's a risk, you take a chance on a guy, you try to believe a guy if he says, you know what, I'm not going to do that again, I'm going to do the right things as a pro, like the rest of the team. They just got to make that decision. Sometimes teams will reach, or sometimes teams will take a chance if they're desperate on a certain position. You know, sometimes desperate times. With the desperate measures, and so somebody's going to take him in the top 10. And my guess is he's going to be a good pro. He's going to do everything in his power. The team's going to put a fence around him and say, it's got to be this way. And probably that type of behavioral monitoring will be reflected in his contract.
Now, the fun thing about the draft, before anybody makes a pick, we already had the first pick off the board, because we all project.
There he is.
We all project who's going to be there. What do you think the Jets will do at 6? A lot of people talking about trading down. What's your opinion?
You know, those early picks, here's my opinion, those early picks are so darn expensive. We got to change that. That rookie pool, especially the first 5-6 picks, are too expensive for a kid to come in, whether he's a good guy or not, a good college player or not, to come in and be the highest paid lineman or the highest paid guy on the football team. That's silly. It's ridiculous, in fact. So down the road, we've got to get that changed, because teams don't want to trade up and pick 3rd. It's too darn expensive, rather than 8th or 13th. And so I don't see a lot of teams that are going to be willing to move up because of the cost, because of the economics of moving up and giving up, a couple of draft picks that can be beneficial, plus pay the big salary to one person.
So you think the Jets might want to move down or move back in the draft, but they won't be able to because teams want to move up?
If they have a player that they really like, let's say they like Matt Ryan and McFadden, but they're gone, and there's several players that they would be happy with, I think the likelihood of them trading back, if they can, if there's a partner, they could do that, because they have a lot of needs and they could fill needs by acquiring more draft picks. It's a very solid way of building your team, and it's economic friendly too. You pay those guys less money and you can acquire 2 guys for the price of 1, basically.
Great. Steve Mariucci of the NFL Network, thanks for joining us at 10:50 ESPN. Thanks.